It's not every day I will tell people I read a 400-page book not once, but twice. Well, I did the audio adaptation once. But that said, I love Andrew Van Wey's By the Light of Dead Stars. If you want to do the audio version, Tom Jordan brings the characters to life. He has such chilling cadences and emotional gravitas that makes this story pop, and it already pops because it's going to play on the unseen cosmic horrors typical of an H.P. Lovecraft story. However, you're also gonna find some Stranger Things vibes. I often tell people this is better Stranger Things. So, if you need that fresh set of kids to tackle a cosmic horror, look no further than The Lost Coast, aka where By the Light of Dead Stars takes place. But what really steals the show here is the human element. That's not to say the cosmic horror doesn't exist, because I promise you, it does. But in this story, our protagonist Zelda leads a much more traditional, conventional existence than we see out of, for example, Stranger Things heroine. However, I think Zelda's story may be more tragic, if at the very least equally as tragic. Why? Because Zelda's trauma is grounded in realities that we all know. The trauma of having and losing, of grief. In this story, we see how trauma and grief dictate the flow of life's decisions and how that's going to root itself so deeply in the decision making of each character. Whether that be the death of a loved one or the abuse from a step parent, it's all on full display here. Characters have to move on from these invisible wounds, and that will prove easier for some. Others, it's going to tattoo their personality, their decisions, and this is going to be something they carry with them for the foreseeable future. And as the narrative begins twisting and turning, readers might think Van Wey's taking us on the hero's journey, the chosen one. But that's not it. By the Light of Dead Stars uses these themes subtly, but it ultimately becomes something wholly original because the characters are developing depth that is far from expected in modern TV or classic Lovecraft. And at day's end, this isn't a story of good versus evil. This is a story of finding the light in the dark. Unfortunately for our characters, that light isn't always blinding warm. Sometimes it's dark, violet, and whispers tantalizing offers of infinite possibility. In the end, I will say this is a deep, conclusive narrative that can stand on its own. Simultaneously, it lays such sturdy groundwork for the sequels to stand tall that each book can be its own thing while also being a larger part of Zelda's story, regardless of whether you decide to read or listen to By the Light of Dead Stars. Prepare to be enveloped. Just don't lose yourself and enjoy the spooky because we love you.